welcome on my YouTube channel. My name is Valbona and I'm a real estate agent in South Florida. Today, I will take you through the 4 factors that based on my background and my experience working in the market with a lot of buyers and sellers. And I'm trying to answer the question that is it a good time to buy real estate now, or it's much better waiting by the end of the year? I give you 4 main factors why you probably buy real estate right now if this is one of your objectives or the goals of this year, and not really be waiting and sitting there waiting for the market to change. So the very first one, and I know most of the real estate agents, experts, they will agree with me, it is very hard to predict the housing market in these days or in this at this time. When is the best time to buy a house? You might assume that the housing market has to cool off eventually, and it might, right? However, there are many people who were ready to buy a house 2-3 years ago, but they too were waiting for the market to cool down. The homes they thought were too expensive at that time, now they are selling for $100,000, $150,000 more. So in other words, one big drawback of renting while waiting for the housing market to cool down is risk. You might end up spending thousands of dollars on rent, paying off someone else's mortgage, only to find that homes in a couple of years are even more expensive than they are right now. Of course, the market may cool down, and it's really a question of how comfortable you are with this risk. The downside of renting is that you are paying someone else's bills. You are not accumulating equity in your own, like same as in your own property. The second factor is that mortgage rates started to go up. So one thing that could cool the market a bit is mortgage rates, because low rates have helped drive high demand, but that won't necessarily be a good thing if you are looking to finance your new home. If you opt to rent for a year or 2, you could miss out on the current historically low home loan rates. Even a half-point difference in your rate can mean paying many thousands of dollars less over the lifetime of your loan. By opting to rent for a year or 2 rather than buying, it is possible you might see demand for homes and therefore home prices. But if mortgage rates rise, you might pay $1,000 more interest anyways. So number 3, it's if a seller's market, the sellers have the upper hand. So as a seller, your biggest worry might be that once you sell your home, the ultra-competitive market will prevent you from buying your next home right away. And no one wants to end up homeless. However, it is important to remember that sellers have the upper hand in negotiating right now because we are in a seller's market. One tactic that has been gaining popularity is the seller rent back. A seller rent back, also known as a post-occupancy lease, allows sellers to continue living in their home even after closing, giving them time to find a home that works for their budget. In one of my listing transactions, I managed through the negotiations to accommodate my clients, the seller, to live in their own home for free for 2 more months after closing the sale. There are a lot of options and benefits while working with a professional agent. And the last, but not least important, number 4, rental living isn't for everyone. Rental restrictions are an expected part of rental living, but they can be a rude awakening for homeowners who have gotten used to living whatever pets they want, hanging anything up on the walls, and arranging their spaces as they see fit, right? And while you are no longer in charge of fixing a broken water heater or a leaky pipe, you may have to deal with a lot of unresponsible landlords instead. There are so many restrictions with what you can do, and that can be quite an adjustment for someone who has purchased their own home to move into a rental property. Renting also means less control over your housing situation. If you sign a year-long lease, there's typically little flexibility for leaving earlier. Conversely, if you sign a month-to-month lease, you might have only 60 days to vacate the apartment if your landlord decides to sell it or rent it out to a family member. So, as a sum up or as a conclusion, based on the expertise and my experience working for almost 2 years now in the seller's market, is to, if you plan to sell or also to buy a property, just go in the market right now. There always been, even the market goes down, there are going to be pros and cons in each period of time on this year. So if you need or have any question or you want to learn more about the market, housing market analysis, or what updates on the housing market, please comment below, ask us a question. My team and I will be more than happy to help and reply to all your questions. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.